Hey guys, today we're gonna see some theory and I'm gonna give you some examples. First thing we're gonna see is validating data. Then we're gonna see auditing formulas, then error values, and then commands and auditing commands. Okay, so I'm gonna start with validating data. Guys, in an Excel cell, you can enter whatever value, okay? For example, I'm typing your grades and I'm entering these values, okay? Do you think this is a good midterm grade? No. So I can ask the computer to validate my data, to check for errors, okay? So to do so, the first thing we're gonna do is, before coming to the grades, I want to enter the names of my students, okay? So here what I'm gonna do in this table, enter the students' names here, enter the midterm grades, but I want them to be real grades, and the final grades, knowing that it's the midterm is graded over 40 and the final exam is over 60. This is just a random list. And then calculate the final grade, which is simply the midterm plus the final. Easy. First thing, I have my list of students here that is already typed, okay? And I don't want to retype it. So what I'm going to do, I can use validation, data validation. Follow with me. So I'm going to select the list here that is empty. So the place where I'm going to enter my students' names. And I'm going to go to, wait, you are supposed to be in a home. So I'm going to go to data and then data validation in here. Validation des données for me, but it's the same thing whether it's in French or English. So I'm going to click on it and it gives me this beautiful dialog box. So the options for you, it's going to say settings in here. So the settings, I want it to be a list. Okay. So it's from a list that I'm taking my data. I'm telling it, ignore blank values, ignore blanks, and enable drop down. Okay. This déroulante, which is drop down. So it's asking me, from where do you want me to get the values for this drop down? I'm going to come here to source. Yeah, it's the same in English and in French. Click in it and go select the list of students I have, which is here. That's the source of my drop down arrow. Just click OK. And look, this is a miracle. I come here, I have the drop down arrow, I click on it, and I have all the values I have in my list. So I just select, this is student A, this one is student B. Well, of course, student names are a lot harder to type than ABC. So this is student C, and this is student D, and here are my data. That's student D, please. Here it is. Okay? Good. So we understood the list. Don't worry, you're going to do it in the hands-on, I hope. Now here, I wanted to type 40, but I typed 400. And in the final, instead of putting 50, I put 500. If I calculate the final grade, oops, I put the tabulation in here. If I put the, not the tabulation, anyway. If I put this one plus, I could have used the sum, plus this one, it's going to give me a wrong grade. Okay, I copied the formula everywhere. So this is a wrong grade. And I have so many students, I might not even see it, okay? So in order to avoid this type of mistakes, what I'm going to do is ask the computer to validate my data, okay? So I'm going to select all the midterm grades and go again to data, the data tab, and validation. Here it is, data validation. Click on it. And I have that beautiful dialog box. So the first tab is the settings for you. Are you going to allow all data? No. For me, I allow only decimals. Decimals, it's a number with a decimal, okay? You can have an integer, but I'm I want decimal. Okay. And my decimal, here you have other options, not between, equal to, different than, greater than, less than, greater or equal to, etc. For me, it's between here. So I only accept grades between 0, that's the minimum, and 40, that's my maximum. Okay? Let me check. I'm going to come back to data validation, okay? Okay. Doit être une valeur... I put O instead of 0. 0. Thank you. Okay. Let's check if it works. I'm going to put 30. Oops. 30. No problem. I put 41. Oops. It tells me there is an error. Do you see here how it's a message that might not be understood by everybody? So what I'm going to do right now is personalize the error message. More than that, what I'm going to do is when I click on a cell, it actually gives me an input message to help me. Okay? Let's do it. So I'm going to select all my data. I'm going to delete this one. Okay, I'm going to select all my data, the place, the cells where I'm going to put my data, and go back to validation. So I have my validation rule in here, which is my settings, and I'm going to go to input message for you. It's message de saisie. Input message. It's the message you're going to see when you select a cell where you're going to enter data. So I'm going to give it a title. Midterm grade, okay? And give it a message that is easy to understand. Please enter a midterm grade enclosed, between 0 and 40. And I'm adding some stupid text just to show you that the computer does not understand what you're writing here. Just gonna give it to you as it's written, okay? So that's what the user is gonna see when they enter, when they are selecting a cell. Okay, now what if I have a mistake? I entered a wrong value. Here you have some options. So this is error alert. So you have options. It's stop. That means the computer is not going to get out of that cell unless you change the value. Warning, and that's the sign. It only warns you, but it gives you the option to accept the value or not. And then information, it just tells you, hey, you had a validation. This doesn't abide by the rule, but it informs you. Nothing's gonna happen. So the one that I want is the stop. Here again, you need a title. So the title, wrong midterm grade. And here you need to explain to the user, please make sure the midterm grade is enclosed between 0, I'm sorry for the mistake, it's okay, the computer doesn't understand, between 0 and 40. You don't do what I'm doing right here, adding stupid text. It's only for you to understand that the computer doesn't understand what I'm writing here, okay? Here we go. So I did validate. First thing you see is the input message that helps the user. Okay, so here I'm gonna write 50. Oops, it doesn't work, and it tells me make sure that the midterm grade is enclosed between 0 and it gives me in the title, you see it? It's so professional. It gives you your title, okay? Now, you have the choice between retry or cancel. Let's cancel. It brings it back to nothing. Let me put 50 again. If you retry, it gives you it goes into write-in mode, okay? 30, and here you go. Okay, guys? And then I can do the same thing for here. Data validation, options, settings for you. I'm only gonna have an integer. Integer meaning I cannot have a decimal, okay? Just to try. Let's do it. And it has to be greater than, where is, hello, non comprise égale à, greater than, supérieur, oh, I'm sorry. I'm speaking in English and trying to find something in French. It's kind of weird. Okay, greater than is here, and greater than a minimum. Okay, the minimum is 10. Okay, I'm gonna try to write 5. Same again, but this message, I don't like it, okay? So I'm gonna go back later on to change it. Here I'm gonna write 11, oops, 11 point, it's the comma for me because I'm using the French computer. It's not gonna accept it because I didn't I didn't put it as a decimal, I put it as an integer. In an integer, you don't have decimals, okay? So you have to choose your settings carefully. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to data validation in the data tab and put a title, an input message, then an error message. Okay, and here I'm gonna put warning, okay, just to try. Okay, so when I select, it gives me my input message, and then I'm gonna enter a wrong value, which is less than 10, 9, and it warns me, and it tells you, do you want to continue or not? So you can continue, so it's gonna accept the wrong value, okay? But at least you know that it's a wrong value and you accepted it, okay? Now let me go back and change my validation rule. I'm sorry. I'm gonna delete the data. Always delete the data so that you don't have to recalculate anything. Okay, validation. And I'm gonna go to information just to try it. I'm gonna enter 9 here. 9. And it tells me, okay, there is no cancel in here. You see how it's different? Okay, I get it. See the difference between the options? Okay, now that we did this, we can enter all the data we want. Etc. Understood? It's fun. I love doing this, validating data. Okay, now we're gonna go to auditing formulas. Auditing formulas, it's visualizing what you're doing. Here I have a formula, okay? But what does it, on what cell is it based, okay? I can come here and read the cell. Okay, A3 is here. C5 is here. It would be so much easier if there was a way to visualize it. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is go to review. Formulas. Formulas, review is for later. I'm gonna go to review, select the cell where I have the formula, and I'm gonna ask the computer to tell me what are the precedents of that formula. Trace precedents. Here it's repérer les antécédents, but it's the same icon. So trace precedents. And look what happens. It shows me from where the result is going to come. It's going to be based on this cell, which is C5 and A3. It's more visual, okay? Now I'm going to tell him I don't need to see this anymore, okay? Just delete the arrows. Okay, now I'm going to come here to this cell and ask the computer, what are my dependents? What formula depends on the value of this cell? Okay, so it's the other one. It's trace dependence. So what are the formulas that depend on my value here of A7? Here it is. This formula here depends on the value of this cell. Okay, so let's look at the formula. Yeah, it's A7 plus C9, so it depends on the value of this cell. Get it? Okay, done with this one. That's auditing, okay? You go to formulas and you can audit your formulas. Now I'm gonna delete this and move to the other thing I want to show you today. So the other thing are the errors, okay? You're gonna have to go to table 7.2, page 385, where you have more errors. But these are the common ones that I see. The first one is div apostrophe. Let me go to the page to see if I wrote it right. Do I have 2 exclamation marks or only 1? 385. Yeah, 2 exclamation marks. Okay, you have the hashtag. You see, if you see this result, hashtag div exclamation mark 0 exclamation mark. That means that you're trying to divide by 0. See here, I gave you an example. I have 10 in this cell and then 0 in this cell. And what I'm trying to do is 10 divided by 0. Okay? I'm going to do it here. Excuse me, guys. I copied actually and didn't change. So it's cell B9 over C9. Okay? So B9. Oh, take off this. B9 over, what's the cell again? C9. C9. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to write this formula in here, okay? So that you see what it is. So equal B9 divided by C9. When I click on it, you know that you see that in C9 I have a 0. So when I click OK, it doesn't work. There is no exclamation mark here. Hey, they have a mistake in the book. Again, it's div 0. I don't know, maybe in the English one it's different. Normally it's not. Okay, you see it here? I'm trying to divide by 0. So I'm going to come here and change it because this is what I get. Well, you know what it is now. It's either exclamation or a slash. So, division by 0, it means that the cell contains no number, nothing, or a 0. So let me put 1, and you no longer have division by 0. Okay? Put 0 back, and you have a division by 0. Now, this one here, name. Name happens when you have a wrong name within the formula. The most common thing you're going to see is when you spell it wrong. You spell the name of the formula wrong, of the function wrong. It can also be within the formula, okay? So let's see here. I'm using French. So the sum for me is somme, S-O-M-M-E. But I wrote sommet, S-O-M-M-E-T. It gives me nom. For you, it's name. Okay? So let's see. I'm going to write summet. I'm going to do it in front of you. And I'm going to sum, again, B9 plus C9. Okay? So equal summet. Sum exists. You see it here. But summet doesn't exist. So I'm going to open the parenthesis. Take these two. Close the parenthesis. That's what I want to sum. And here it tells me, no, you have a mistake in the name. So check the names you have. Here it's kind of easy. It's not summet, it's sum. I click OK and it works. Do you get it? So that's a mistake that happens usually when you have typing mistakes. Okay, now reference is given to you in case you delete something. Okay? Okay, let me see here. I'm going to put here 0. Okay. So here I'm going to write 10. Okay? Delete this one, this formula. And here I'm going to try to, I'm going to sum these two together. Okay? So equal this one plus this one. Easy. It gives me 20. Now, what happens if I delete this cell? All of it. And I'm going to take the cell that is below and put it up. You see here, ref? It means that the reference of that cell doesn't exist anymore. I'm going to make it more obvious for you. I'm going to go to delete a column, totally a column. For example, here I have midterm, and here I have final grade. Here I'm going to write some numbers, 10, 20, and then copy the difference. You already know how to do this. 15 and 25. I'm going to copy the difference, and then I'm going to calculate the sum. Okay? So equal, always the same thing. Equal this one plus this one. Okay? Random calculation. Now what happens if I delete this column? The computer is going to tell me that reference doesn't exist anymore. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to right click, delete the whole column. Do you see? It doesn't find a reference anymore. Do you get it? The reference doesn't exist. Okay, guys? Now let me move back and explain to you the last one I'm going to explain. It's value. You see here what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to add a text, to subtract a number from a text. Okay? So that's the formula I wrote. Actually, I need to change it because I copied everything. Okay, here I'm going to go to, it's equal to B12 minus C12. Okay, I put the apostrophe because this is not a real formula. I just want you to see what I'm going to do. Okay, now I'm going to come here and put equal, and I'm going to take this cell where I have a text minus this cell where I have a number. It's going to give me value. You cannot subtract a number from a text. It doesn't make sense. Okay? So it cannot calculate this value. Incorrect type of argument used in a formula. Okay? I hope this is understood. Now I'm moving to the last one I'm going to do is commands. Okay. So commands are within, if I recall, it was review. Okay, now you can add a new command, you can edit a command, you can delete a command, show previous command, or next command, show and hide command, and then show all commands. We already did this earlier. So add new command. Here, you add a command. You can change the title, blah, 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 and then enter whatever you want. Oops, I shouldn't have entered. I'm coming here so that I have, you can actually format, but you cannot change colors, okay? Okay, here it is. I'm gonna add a new command here. I'm gonna add a new command here. Why am I adding so many commands? It's just to go previous and next, okay? Okay, here are my commands. Now I'm gonna, I'm gonna hide. What am I doing here? This is an on and off button. Okay, that was my problem. I'm like, where is hide? It's an on and off, Amy. Okay, it's on and off. You can show all the commands or hide all the commands. That's this one, okay? Then you can come here, show the one command or hide one command, okay? Now you can go to show previous command. Previous command, it's this one. Previous command, next command, next command, okay? Previous, previous, next, next. And then you can delete a command, this one, okay? Let me try something. No, it doesn't delete all of them. It's one by one. Okay, delete command, delete command. Oh, edit command. I select this command and I want to edit it. You just come here and you change whatever you want in it. Okay, guys? So that's super easy. Clear? Okay, what we have to do now is go to hands-on exercise 3 from page 390 to page 395. Good luck, guys. And I'm out. Love you guys. Bye.